Good afternoon. I'm Z, and you're listening to the Bryant Consulting Show. Today, we're going to be talking about current events on our show. Okay, and also we have a special guest, Rosie Shepherd, who's a nutritionist, educator, and counselor. We're going to be going over the Siobhan verdict, the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting, and also Asian hate crimes and other topics. So, hi, Mr. Bright.
Hello
Hi,
out
Ms.
there.
Shepherd. How are you doing today?
Hello, how are
Oh,
you doing?
hi. How you doing? Me, Rodney Bright, youth mentor, life coach.
All right.
All
How you
right.
guys doing today?
Is everybody?
How you
How,
guys
It's a
doing
pleasure
today?
to
All right.
speak to you, and I
All
appreciate you
right.
taking out your time for this episode today. Just to let you two know before we get started that someone in the world may be motivated or inspired by your story or your words today. So I really appreciate you. And at Bryant Bright Consulting, we're all about the people in the world, not just our community, but we are about our community also, and assisting others with obtaining their personal life or their company goals and getting on the path to greatness. At Bryant Bright Consulting, our motto is you're the CEO of your own life, so start making the decisions today that drive the vision you're always dreamed of. We're about
Well, all right.
improving, innovating, and sustaining, and just living your best life. So we're
Sounds
gonna go
great.
ahead and get started today.
All right.
So my first question is gonna be for Miss Shepherd.
yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
And this is a would you rather question. So the question
Uh-huh.
is, would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
I would say a personal maid. And the reason I say that is because I am a cook. Being a nutritionist, that was my first career. So, and I enjoy cooking. I love to do that. I'm pretty particular about, my diet and what I eat. Being
Oh
a
yeah.
nutritionist as well. So I'd rather have a maid because, with my schedule, because I work pretty much either part-time or full-time most of the time. And it's really hard, to get a chance to really, clean like I like to, because I really would like to dust and clean. So I would love to have a maid.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I have to agree with that also because I'm so picky about my foods and ingredients
hmm
and eating healthy also. So I would have to have a personal maid, not a chef, because I'm so picky about my food and
hmm
the ingredients and how it's cooked. And just having a chef, you really have to trust that person, I think, because you're trusting someone with your life to put stuff in your food that you might not know that's in there.
Yes. Good
But
point.
a personal maid would be great to help out
hmm Yeah.
with cleaning and washing and all that, because that'll give you extra time to be able to do other things that you want to do.
hmm And one thing I was going to say about me also is I don't eat out a lot, and uh, kind of to reiterate what you were saying. Whenever it comes to the ingredients that I put in the food, I'm particular about that because I watch the
Mm-hmm.
cholesterol. I always watch the fat. I'm particular about sugar, so you never know what other people are putting in your food.
Oh, yes.
Because I cut back on sugar. I don't have any added sugars. I read the labels.
Mm-hmm.
I am a true nutritionist, I guess, still, even though I'm not in the profession as much as I used to be. But I
Mm-hmm.
love reading the labels, and if it has sugar in it, then I don't, I won't purchase it. So I'm pretty particular about that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And Mr. Bright, what about you? Would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
I think I would like to have well, I think I would like to have a personal chef. I like to have a personal chef, and because I don't want a maid working for me. But then I changed my mind um because of uh I like to eat right, and I like to know what's in my food. I don't want nobody to
Mm-hmm.
dislike me and spit in my food or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So as far as the maid, I don't want to. I just can't get over somebody cleaning for me. I like to clean for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So just like a two-sided question for me or answer for me. So uh, choosing one, I wouldn't like. I guess I would have to say maid because my life changes is with eating right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat all
Mm-hmm.
the bad foods anymore, and no telling what they may put in your food, or if they dislike you, they might
Mm-hmm.
spit in your food. But as far as a maid, I don't want to put people to work, but I guess hey, I got to sacrifice, so I'll say maid. Maid. I have to put them to work. I have to make a decision to sacrifice. So it's a process of elimination.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
like I
Well,
say,
I'm gonna go
uh,
ahead with the
yeah,
next one.
okay.
Would you rather spend a year at war or a year in prison? And that's for you, Mr.
Oh.
Bright.
A year at war or a year in prison. Let's see. Um, let's see, man. Prison, I give up my rights. I don't want to do that. War, I have my rights. So I'd rather do a year in prison, but I would do
Mm.
war because God will protect me. And I just praise, deal with the world, deal with the Lord, and He will guard me and protect me. So prison, I don't want war, and I may go to prison, but then I lose my rights. So I have to process elimination. It'll be go to war, go to war and fight.
All right.
Die
So,
strong, man. Die
war.
strong.
What about you, Miss Shepherd? Would you do
Hey,
war for a year or a year in prison?
hey, it's a no-brainer. I spent 35 years working in the Texas Department. Well, I guess I shouldn't say where, but I spent 35 years working in the prison system. So, and then I'm also back working there again. So, I would definitely say I'd rather go to war because I know what it's like to
Mm-mm-mm.
be in prison, working in prison, just watching some of the things that they
Mm-hmm.
have to deal with. They've lost all their freedoms. They have no
Mm-hmm.
rights. I mean, okay, it's just no rights at all. They're told when to eat, when to shower, uh, basically have to eat whatever food is provided. Um, they're told whether they can have a visitation with their, family members. They basically have any rights at all. They can't vote. I think they're trying to get it where they possibly can vote, but right now they can't vote. And so I think I'd rather go to war. At least I would keep my rights. I mean, I guess that's the worst of two evils. I wouldn't be too happy about war,
Yeah.
but I would choose that over prison any day.
Mm. And I can agree with both of you guys and say I would rather spend
Mm-hmm.
a year at war than
Mm-hmm.
a year in prison because I
Exactly.
know that I just wouldn't want to have all my rights taken away, even though they do have the opportunity to get education and make
Mm-hmm.
money and they have jobs. And it's just so many other opportunities, even though you're incarcerated, but it's just not enough to just lose your complete freedom and your
Mm-hmm.
respect and all that and dignity because you just have no control anymore once they have control over you. So I'd rather go to war.
Well,
Exactly.
I'd rather not go to war, but it's better than going to prison.
Yeah, that's a
It is. It
choice.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
And
I
I
And
was
don't
that's
gonna,
want to
the
fight.
crazy
I
thing
don't want
is,
to be fighting.
yeah, and
I'm
it's
just saying. Go ahead.
and
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that it's good that they do have education in prison, but the thing that a lot of people don't realize is mainly who they're trying to educate are the ones who are, didn't get a high school diploma or,
mm-hmm,
don't know how to, didn't learn how to read or dyslexia, whatever, have those type of situations. As mainly now they do have some college, but it's limited, So
Yeah.
it's not a lot. And so, hey, for me, it wouldn't really, I don't think, help my situation. So,
And
you
for
know,
me,
but that helps.
some of these
Understandable.
people,
Hmm?
I don't want to fight for, but I'm not going to prison though.
Got you. Don't blame you
And
there.
all three of us actually worked at a prison before, so we know how it is
Oh,
inside
okay.
of the prison.
That is right. Yes.
You lose all your rights inside of prison, and
Mm-hmm.
just terrible, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How
You
long did you
can't,
work in the
you
prison
can't,
system,
you can't
Rodney, Mr.
expect, you can't.
Bright?
7 years,
Mm-hmm.
7 years. You can't expect nothing inside of prison. You can't get a phone. You know, everything is on the people who got you oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Can't talk to your lawyers. You got to do what they say.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be waiting for a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
But if I fight, I'd rather be fighting for my rights.
Mm-hmm.
The heck with the other folks' rights. I'm selfish. Well, I'm with God. It'd be me and God against, you know, the demons.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move on to our next topic. And this is going to be about the Siobhan verdict.
Mm.
So since then, at least 6 people were fatally shot by officers across the United States within 24 hours after the jurors actually reached a verdict in the murder case. So we're happy that, there was finally justice in a situation like this in the judicial system and the United States, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah,
Um,
Mm-hmm. Long way.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So within that, it was a 16-year-old that's the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting, and then another guy in California, another guy in North Carolina. So with the deaths, in some cases, it sparked more cries for justice, which we do need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. The
even though the circumstances surrounding each death was different, some happened while officers investigated serious crimes, and police say some of the people were armed with a gun, knife, or metal pole, or whatever. But one man claimed to have a bomb, and he threatened to detonate it. In several cases,
Mm-hmm.
little is known about the lives of those who was killed and what happened in their final moments. So, what do you have to say about that, Mr. Bright?
I was just saying about the Chauvin case. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he had his knee on his neck, and I just want to say that uh, if you see a person like that, about to die, what can you do? You know. So I
Mm-hmm.
figure, I'm thinking of things that possibly can be done. You can yell at the man, "Hey, don't." The guy is dying like they did, you know. But I don't know. You may have to go a step further, man. You may have to be a little proactive, and might risk yourself going to jail. So I would think that if you see somebody dying and you're an innocent bystander, like the case with Chauvin, knee on the neck, police, everybody's scared of the police and everything. I think everybody should just bum rush that police, man, in the cause of saving a life. And if you go to jail after that, then you just go to jail, man. You at least save a life. You have to come up with something drastic to make it
Mm-hmm.
happen instead of being standing by.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
I
good
mean,
point.
because it's
Mm-hmm.
a thing
Yeah.
that
Who
Because
us as individuals can do, in circumstances
Mm-hmm.
like that when they do arise.
Mm-hmm.
but still in all, you have to really assess the situation.
Right.
That's
You got to
true. That's true.
be safe, and
Mm-hmm.
wait till you see the whites of their flag or whatever. You got to really
Mm-hmm.
assess it. But I think you should. But between them going blindly dead, you should be able to intervene before that.
Yeah.
something.
That's correct.
Because
Don't.
the other officer, he was just holding everybody back. Not really
Right.
holding back, but he had his hands out, when
Mm-hmm.
he should have been the one. So it should be a law against the second officer if they see it. You got to
Mm-hmm.
intervene, or you in fault too. So both of them should go down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Hmm.
Got to come up with some type of measures, to put in place because we just gonna be standing by and be bystanders, looking on, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
afraid to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta take a stand somehow.
What do you
You
think
just
about
got.
that, Miss Shepherd? Anything we could possibly do
Um.
to make a
Well,
difference in these outcomes?
I think people need to get more involved. Whenever they see somebody who's in trouble, help them. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
I know they had a study. One of the psychologists had done a study once, and they had this person, and they were pretending like they had passed out or whatever at the bottom of the steps.
Mm-hmm.
People were walking through, and they just sit back and they videoed and watch. And guess how many people stopped? Most of them stopped and kind of looked, but then they were
Mm-hmm.
basically looking to see what everybody else was doing. So when
Right.
nobody else
Exactly.
stopped to help, they didn't help. So I think that's our problem. I think that we need to be proactive. And if we see somebody who's in distress, and I will say that some of the bystanders did, try to help. They did their best. They tried to talk to the cop. Stop. He's having trouble breathing. He's not breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the ladies even videoed, the situation. So I think if we have more people who are willing to step up, maybe do a little bit more to try to intervene in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you don't want to put your life in danger, because
That's true.
there you are. You could get shot just as easily, but you want to find a way to
Mm-hmm.
help where you don't put your life in danger or somebody else's life in danger.
Have to assess the situation.
You have to really assess it.
Yeah,
If you
that's true.
don't, then you could put your life in danger. So I think that those bystanders did the best that they could do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was on the cop after that. Um, he had him handcuffed, and he had his knee on his neck, and
Mm-hmm.
he could tell he had him restrained. So why did he keep his knee on
Mm-hmm.
his neck?
That's what I'm
You know,
saying. If you already got handcuffs
hmm
on them, there's no
yeah.
need for that knee on the neck or anything else.
So it's almost like you're just waiting, sitting there waiting for them to die. Because even after he stopped
Yeah.
breathing, and he knew he had stopped breathing, he still continued. So what harm could he do? He wasn't even breathing anymore, and you still have your knee on his neck.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I
I
just
think.
think,
Go ahead.
no, I just think that we as citizens can do more. Maybe we can speak
Oh
out
yeah.
about it, protest, and I think it needs to be nonviolent and peaceful, the way Martin Luther King, taught.
The the video
That's the
cameras.
best way.
We
Yeah.
got cameras now. I think everybody should
Yes.
utilize the cameras to the fullest. Every place, every
Mm-hmm.
building, every person has a phone. Utilize it to the fullest. If you ride down the street in your car, somebody flipping you the bird, first thing should go through your mind is run for your phone, your camera.
Hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think people have to
We
be
need more
trained.
people like that 17-year-old
Exactly.
Darnella
Hmm.
Frazier who recorded the George Floyd situation.
Right.
She's the one that
So we
recorded it.
have to
Yeah.
keep it going.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was looking. I didn't mean to change the subject, but there was something I was looking at, but I really didn't pay much attention to it. This was this young girl, and a cop was getting ready to shoot her, and another girl came up and just started and grabbed her and kind of protected her from the
Mm-hmm.
cop.
Mm-hmm.
So we need things like that. But she was putting her life in danger as
Right.
well.
That's
But
right.
she did intervene, and she actually saved that child's life.
She assessed the situation real quick
Hmm.
because the cop ain't gonna shoot two people.
I don't know. Oh, I
Uh,
wouldn't. Sorry, I just.
Well, she
but
what
that makes sense
she
that
wasn't
we all
threatening.
need to
She
be
wasn't
more
threatening.
vigilant.
Yeah, we do.
and
Yeah,
watching
that
what's
was my
going on
point.
around us and
She didn't
not
have
just
a knife in
looking
her
at our
hand.
cell
She didn't
phone and
have a
walking
gun in
by,
her
you
hand.
know.
Exactly. She took a chance. I will say
But she didn't
the
have
young
anything
lady.
in her hand.
Yeah,
So
she didn't have
he
anything
wasn't
in
gonna
her
shoot her.
hand.
Yeah. They
Well,
shoot you if you got something like a cell phone in your hand. They'll shoot you. Or a gun,
yeah.
you know, if it looks like a knife. But
Mhm.
if you don't have nothing in your hand, they're not gonna shoot you. You gotta assess the situation.
Well, it depends on, I
Mm.
guess, the situation and the
Mhm.
circumstances and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because
because I have
sometimes it
seen
was
people
people
who
getting
didn't.
pulled over, but
That's
you
right.
know.
And they didn't have
Hmm.
anything in their hand, and they got shot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, it's you got to
Mhm.
give them your driver's license so you can not be belligerent. Cause see, they can get stuff on you don't even know about,
The
like
thing that the
like an
thing
air
that
freshener.
should be taught is that whenever they pull you over, you need to have your hands where they can see them,
Hmm.
because they
Well,
don't
that's
know
just
if you're reaching for a gun. They're already afraid. Probably
see
because
that's the
it's
problem.
yeah, they are honestly
So
they
that
That's the
sounds
do.
like a
problem.
good idea.
They
Have
Mhm.
some kind
cowards.
of
Mhm.
class or training for people
They
for these
Right.
cowards.
situations.
Exactly. I think that would, because they need to be taught that, because I mean it's like, okay, if just put yourself in the cop situation, I'm not taking up for them,
You could be an
but
old
if
woman.
Hmm.
say you were a cop and you pull someone over and they were acting strange and they had their hands down and you didn't know what they were doing, and I think a lot of it is with the cops. I mean, they don't, if you reach for your gun and shoot them, that's it.
They
you know
cowards.
Sometimes you have to, yeah, they really are afraid. And I think I would be too if I was a cop,
No,
honestly.
they
Hmm.
afraid. They're afraid for a reason. See, we got to find out the
Hmm.
problem why they so afraid.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that would be good if you can find out why, but they really are.
And another thing too, they need to retrain all of them.
I think so too. Yeah, I agree with that. They need to
Cause they're
retrain.
too afraid. They're too afraid of
And
folks.
another thing is, we were talking, I was talking to Miss Bright, is if you would have a training for the kids, for the young kids,
Hmm.
like when they're pulled over, they have a certain protocol that they follow when they're pulled over. And one of the first things, put your hands where they can be seen, do what they tell
Hmm.
you. You shouldn't have, if you do that, I think it makes things a lot better for you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, basically. Because we've all been pulled over by a cop for a ticket or whatever, you know,
Oh
even
yeah.
if it's not for anything else, it's for a ticket. And you just, we know how to act. We're going to be respectful
Hmm.
toward them, and we're going to do what they tell us. And
But
basically,
I
that's
think
it.
training needs to be done.
That's right. For both, on
Cause
both sides.
everybody don't know how to act.
That's right.
The youngsters don't know how to act.
That's right.
They got
So
to be
training
trained
needs to be
first.
both
They
of
have to
them.
be trained.
Hmm.
They
The
have to have
cops,
good parents
the
to
cops,
train them.
and the kids. Right. Hmm.
Hmm. It should be a
'Cause-
course where the whole family go out and learn.
That's
You
right.
know.
right.
I think
That's
the
right.
Yeah.
schools can take that up, and do some things with that as well.
But at the home, it got to
Hmm.
be at the home
Hmm.
level also.
Well,
School
at
can't
the
do it.
home as
But
well,
yeah, that sounds good to have it at school too.
but I think the parents need to be included, because whenever we have training or anything like that, we included the parents. When I was the school
Hmm.
counselor at the school, we always include the parents in everything. If we were going to have a training, the parents, we insisted that they were there as well. So,
Hmm.
that's getting them involved in it as well. They need to be involved in it, because it's not going to work
Hmm. And
without them.
that's
Hmm.
creating to provide a safe space for young people to process, not
That's
just
right.
the young people, but the family members also. So
That's
everybody
right.
can process and heal and work on it together.
That's right. At the same time,
Yeah.
and that's part
Hmm.
of counseling. You want to include the family in that. All need to be included. The whole family.
I think the whole family need counseling.
Hmm. Hmm. And
Okay.
maybe training, not necessarily counseling, but just, if whenever you're doing the training, then you need to include the whole families.
That's what I mean,
Hmm.
training.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cause some of our family situations are dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can't blame them. If they
Mm-hmm.
got if they're from an orphanage or dysfunctional
Mm-hmm.
family,
Mm-hmm.
there's all kinds of situations out there,
It's a lot.
and the
Mm-hmm.
cops don't know nothing about that. They
Mm-hmm.
act like they don't know. They can't even take care of their own families.
And believe it or not, there's a lot of families that are like, even though they're single parent homes, if the father and the mother are both involved, then that makes a difference. Even if they're not, living in the same household. And you have a lot of families where you have the mom, but the father is not involved, so you
That's
try to get
another
the
topic
father
right there.
involved and the mom, both
Another
of them.
topic.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's another topic right there. I tell
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get off on another topic, but
you.
that's kind of, part of it. It's all part of it. I think it's important.
we'll be talking all night
Yeah.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's all connected, so it
Mm-hmm.
can actually lead into a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the topics that we talk about. So
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, the officers need to be retrained starting ASAP because they're
Mm-hmm.
afraid and they're gonna shoot you.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna shoot you for real.
Yeah, but in
And
some
they're not
cases they're not. But
discriminating.
that's right. But I'm
They,
not sure
they
about
don't.
the George. I was gonna say I'm not sure about the George Floyd case. If that was fear in that case, it was. I don't know if it started out that way or not, but this the way it ended. It just didn't end right.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, they was
Because
trying
we
to
didn't see the
blame other
beginning
stuff.
of how it started.
That's right. We never did. All we saw was the ending, the middle, and the end. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't know. See what we think maybe it's playful. The cops don't think it's playful or something. I don't think he had a gun or anything, George Floyd. Uh, right? He didn't have a knife or anything. But they going about it what his antics or he was playful or he was high or that don't
Hmm.
mean shoot him, kill him.
Hmm. Yeah.
They don't have good judgment.
Yeah, and that's
See, that's
where.
when they go back and say that this is just not just the issue with the police, and it's like with race relations also, because we've had different situations where individuals were pulled over of other races and nationalities that didn't have the issue that we have, the majority of our people.
Oh yeah,
So
they don't show that. They don't show those.
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
No, they're not going to show those, but that's part of it. It goes back to that as well, to race
Mm-hmm.
relations.
Yeah.
But see, they don't believe that. That's something that
Hmm.
has to come
Hmm.
uh, from the people who being racist against. See,
Hmm.
because the other people don't believe that, and
Hmm.
you have to bring that to them so they can see it because they don't see none of that. So we have to be more verbal ourselves or whoever's being the victims.
Well, I like what President Obama said about, and that's something I learned when I first decided to become a counselor, is that you have to go and assess yourself as
Mm-hmm.
far as how you feel about different races and cultures. You have to go
Mm-hmm.
back and look at your own, race and culture. And then when you assess yourself,
That's
and then
right.
you actively try to get out and learn about other cultures and
Mm-hmm.
advocate for other cultures, then that makes a difference. And
Oh yeah, it
I
does.
had to take a class. Well, I mean, it could go on and on, but I had to take a class once. And in that class, it was cultural diversity. So we had to pick a culture
Mm-hmm.
and then we had to go and immerse. They call it cultural immersion. We had to immerse ourselves in the
Mm-hmm.
culture. And I picked the Indian culture. And I went to the Indian reservation and I learned so much. And I didn't realize, what they dealt with and how they felt about the rest of us, about,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they felt like their land was taken away from them, and
It
they still
was
have feelings about that,
it was
even
it
to
was
this day.
taken.
Yeah.
Yes, and they still feel that way. And see, I wouldn't have
I
known
don't
that
blame them.
that had I not gone to immerse myself in their culture. I went to the reservation. I wouldn't have known that they still feel that way. And it's not just um the whites, it's the blacks, it's all of us. They feel that way about us.
Yeah.
We took their land and they still have mixed feelings about that.
I don't blame them one bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we wouldn't know that until we get to know different cultures. And I think that should be part of that
Mm-hmm.
training. I think they
Yeah,
need to
that's
have
Yeah.
them to do the cultural immersion. That helped me so
right.
much.
Yeah, because
Immerse yourself.
See, that's gonna be
we
like our
don't.
next topic, talking about the Asians. It's just they have to go through things, and they've going through things, but you wouldn't know those things unless you've
That's
been
right.
around them and their culture and their people.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yep, that is so true.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's what they have to learn. They have to put them in those classes or something like that so they can learn.
Mm-hmm.
Cultural immersion sounds like it would work great
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah,
more
it
people
was
will
the best
understand
thing that
more
ever
and
happened
relate.
to me, because a lot of times we think, okay, I'm not racist, I don't feel this way,
Mm-hmm.
but a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of times we're not even aware of it ourselves until we look at ourselves. We have to look at
Right.
ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's the problem.
It's so
We
true.
all,
Mm-hmm.
we all got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm for my culture. We all need to be
Mm-hmm.
educated more. We're
Mm-hmm.
not educated enough. And so if we're not educated enough, then the Native Americans not educated enough. You can't fight back, man. You're on a losing end.
That's right. But then whenever you sit down with them, after I sit down with that lady at the end, we were not we were friends. After I actually
Yeah.
sat down with her and I told her, I said, I am so sorry. I said, I did not know that y'all still felt that way. That's what I told her. And so when we were done, we had a good, feelings about each other.
And that's what the Lord wants you to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the problem. Um, People not following God's law.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's
And,
right.
and somebody got you turned on each other, and you don't know why.
That's right. But the key is communication. You have to talk about it
And
because no one
education.
knows. Yeah, education and communication. Because no one knows how they feel, how the other person feels unless they talk
That,
about it.
yeah, that's why people in
Mm-hmm.
the predicament they in today, because they don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Right.
Malcolm X said that 50 years ago. We
Mm-hmm.
still in the same boat.
Oh, yeah. He
Nothing
had a
changed.
lot of good things to say.
And that's terrible, 50 years ago. We still in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah,
Yep. We
but
always have
yeah, education
further to
is
go
key.
and more to do.
Yeah, and we're always growing. We always have to grow and learn. Whenever we stop growing and learning, that's a problem. So we
Oh
gotta
yeah, we'll
always
be in
be
trouble
growing
then.
and learning. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Revelation might come by then.
Yeah, when you stop growing
Revelation.
and learning,
But
that is not good.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna move to the next topic. Uh, a White House
Okay.
announcement on Tuesday outline, a plan of action that includes federal, state, and local law enforcement training on handling hate crimes. Establishing a committee within the COVID-19 Equity Task Force to address xenophobia against Asian people and allocating 49.5 million to fund community-based services for Asian or Pacific Islander survivors of sexual and domestic violence. So, with that being said, groups like Stop AAPI Hate and the Asian Pacific American Institute for Congressional Studies commended President Joe Biden on his response to the recent um, issues with Asian hate crimes that we have in our country currently. So this is for Mr. Bryant. What do you think about what's going on with the Asian hate crimes and the things that the government are doing? The government sanctioned the to against the discrimination of Asian people.
Well, I think that uh, in April the 1st, April Fool's Day,
Mm-hmm.
you said
Mm-hmm.
that the White House had the announcement on April the 1st, April Fool's Day, that they are trying to get a law for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you said what, they establishing a committee within the COVID-19, and I looked that up and said they're trying to allocate $49.5 million toward the hate crimes
Mm-hmm.
and fund the community-based services and stuff like that for the Pacific
Mm-hmm.
Islanders. That's what you said. So
Yes.
they started that April Fool's Day, on about almost a month ago.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
April the 22nd, a couple of days ago, guess what? The Senate overwhelmingly passed the anti-Asian hate crime bill. They passed it
Okay.
just that quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty quick,
It
And
is.
Mhm.
it says that the Senate passed with a whole bipartisan majority Thursday a bill denouncing the discrimination against Asian communities and in the United States, and creating a new position at the Justice Department to
Mm-hmm.
expedite reviews of potential COVID-19 related hate crimes. And the vote was 94-1, except for a Republican in Missouri. He didn't vote for that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying it happened so quick, that
Yeah.
usually it take a long time for them to put in a bill like that for a hate crime to just
Well, I
started
remember
22
when
days ago.
President Biden first got into office, he did sign an executive order against hate crime. I think it was like one of his
Mhm.
first executive orders that he signed.
Right. I only got one thing to say on that, and that's it. And my thing is that the anti-lynching movement was organized. Public effort was organized in the United States to aim to eradicate practice of lynching. Lynching was used as a tool to repress African Americans. The anti-lynching movement reached its height between 1890s and the 1930s. Okay, and
Wow.
it says that's a long time, 1890s to 1930s.
Mhm.
It reached an all-time high, and they had
Mhm.
a committee trying to eradicate that back then.
Hmm.
So now,
Wow.
on February 26, 2020, that was last year, the Emmett Till
Mm-hmm.
Anti-Lynching Act, a revised version of the Justice for Victims of Lynching Act, passed through the
Oh,
House of
wow.
Representatives.
Mhm.
410 to 4. Now that
Mm.
was last year. Look how
Mhm.
long it take to get that done. From
Mhm.
1890s to 1930, and they're gonna pass the anti-Haitian bill in 22 days. That's all I have to
And
say
we're
on
still
that. That was pretty
fighting.
fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that happened. I'm just bringing to your attention that happened real fast for the anti-Asian hate, but for the anti-lynching, it
Yeah.
took a
Mhm.
long time, 130 years, when it only took 22
Mm-hmm.
days for the anti-Asian lynching. So I'm just saying something that's wrong with that.
Mhm.
I'm just pointing it out. I'm not making a big deal about it. I'm just saying something wrong with that right there.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, hating, I like Bruce Lee. I like Chinese food. Uh, your boy did that. President
Mhm.
Trump.
Trump.
He the one
Mhm.
said the China flu, so he
Mhm.
did that, not the black
Mhm.
folks. Trump did that,
Mhm.
so we not your enemy.
Yeah, because I
Mhm.
know we never had any problems like that.
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
Never did.
So,
If anything like that, that's
yeah.
like a joke incident where it's a one time incident where they doing playing a joke or a trick on people, running
Mhm.
up, pushing them over, and put it on YouTube or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't think
Because I know I
we
did
like.
see different situations where there was so-called Asian hate crimes, but then they did an investigation and they came back and found that that's wasn't what it was.
Right.
So,
And then on April the 1st, they had that big Asian hate crime in Florida, and they found out
mm-hmm.
that it wasn't us doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
want to initiate the bill after that. It wasn't us doing it, man. We like Bruce Lee. We had Chinese food in our neighborhoods first. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't go to the other neighborhoods. They only could come to our neighborhood
Mhm.
because we
Mm-hmm.
liked them so much.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Yeah,
no, they didn't go
that's
to the
true.
other neighborhoods. They came to. That's why we have chop suey in our neighborhoods
Hmm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've
And
always
Bruce
thought
Lee
that
came.
our people have always got along with their people fine. It hasn't been any problem. It just seemed like
Mm-hmm.
they tried to make an issue
Yeah,
recently, and there's really not
Right.
one there.
yeah, we
So
like them guys. We
Well,
like everybody.
but I will say, I said, everybody eats Chinese food. Come
We
on.
love it,
oh
and we
yeah,
like
They
Bruce
love
Lee. We
Chinese
oh
like
yeah.
food.
karate.
Um,
They could
and
be
I
our
have
good
to agree.
allies.
I think Trump, for some reason, President Trump got it started because when the COVID came over
Mm.
there here, he blamed them for it, and I think that's what got all this Asian hate crime started. A lot of it,
Right.
because I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
it being such an issue before now.
It's like an
Yeah.
This is
opportunity.
the first time that it's ever been, because they've always been kind of class a little bit above African Americans, but kind of similar.
Well, not really.
Hispanics,
Mm-hmm.
Asians.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, they're kind of class.
Well, in
Not
China, probably
they're not
in
class
China,
with the Caucasians. They really are not. No, I'm talking about here in the United States. They really are not.
they're
So
immigrants.
they've always been, class as not, quite as with the Caucasians. So
Yeah.
they're above us. I would say
What
African
what
Americans,
what
but still, they've always
Mm-hmm.
had sort of a, something. It's hard to describe it, but they've always really didn't have the
what
respect that they needed to have for them,
what
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
for the Asian
what I
culture.
think what I think is that they are immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them are immigrants, and all the
Mm-hmm.
immigrants came to the U.S. They were criminals. They sent
Mm-hmm.
their worst over here.
But I have to say those Asians are the smartest people.
In
They are very
China,
smart. Math, you cannot beat them in math. Um,
in China,
no, here they are some of the smartest people you ever
They
want to
are
see, and
too
they're very
intelligent. They are too smart.
very intelligent, disciplined.
I'm telling you because the
Mhm.
majority of the people that I use for my articles for my dissertation, they're from China. They're from
Mhm.
India. Those
Mhm.
people are intelligent.
that's
They're
what I'm
the they're
saying.
the ones who become the doctors. They become the
Yeah.
scientists. They
Yeah.
Why they
become,
why they
they're very intelligent. They become the
why they had to
engineers,
come
Mm-hmm.
over here to do it? Why come they
the
couldn't have did it in China?
mathematicians. But they did it over there. And the reason that they're that way is because they were very disciplined over there. Their education is a lot better
That's
than
right.
ours here in America.
They should have stayed
Those
over
And
there.
kids are
every
way
race,
ahead of us.
nationality, and culture have criminals and
Yes.
stuff. Everybody have
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Even white people, have
Oh,
criminals.
yes.
Everybody got that.
I don't believe that stuff, man. I
Hmm.
believe that they immigrants and
Hmm.
they came over here, right? And they gave them hell. The Americans
Hmm.
put them in concentration camps, not the
Hmm.
blacks.
Yeah.
They put all of them in. They were immigrants, man. They
Hmm.
could do what they want to do with
They
them
did that
cats.
to Hispanic people too.
They did it to everybody.
Hmm.
Anybody
They,
who's an immigrant, if you're not white,
Anybody come to this country.
anybody, if you come and you're
but
not
we,
white, like if you come
that's
from
right,
Germany or somewhere like that, you're good.
immigrant,
Yeah, but
right?
you're an
Oh yeah.
immigrant, but you come over there, they don't mess with them, the
But we
Germans.
not immigrants. We not immigrants. That's all I'm saying.
But we're citizens, and a lot of those people who come over here now are citizens. They're U.S. citizens now.
What
Those
I'm saying
Asians,
is they immigrants, man.
Hmm.
We're
right?
not immigrants.
But
They
what we
coming
have
over
to,
here
we are a melting pot now. We are just
when they
all
come over
Yep.
here,
kinds.
when they come over here, they give them money
Hmm.
and property. They don't give us that. We already here. That's all I'm saying. Call a spade a spade.
Our situation was different than theirs.
Yes, we were
Yeah,
already here.
they brought them over here and gave them money and
We
land.
were here as
And
slaves.
they supposed to give us land and money, but they gave them money and land. Call
Hmm.
a spade a spade.
Hmm. Well, we're a melting pot now, so we have to
Oh,
admit
we
it
can
that
get
we have
Oh
along.
yeah.
all
You
kinds of
know,
cultures. We've changed. We're not the same. It's not just
Hmm.
Caucasians. We have probably more of the Asians, cultures, you know, than what
ain't
we've
nobody
had in the
happy.
past.
Ain't nobody happy though. Ain't nobody happy.
But you know what? That comes from within. Our
Yep, it
happiness
does.
comes from within. I mean,
So
Hmm.
so
hmm
so on that note, you're an individual. You're an individual.
hmm hmm we're
get your own
individual,
riches.
but
What
don't
about
forget, we're individual, but we also have to, we're in this together. Because if we
well?
do
How you?
not
That's
work
right.
together, then we're not going to make it. With that COVID, everybody has to work. If we don't, then we're going to be in trouble.
Oh,
And it's
that's
the
Hmm.
whole world that got to work
that's
That's
the
together.
right.
whole world right
Everybody,
there.
the
Yeah,
whole world.
everybody in it.
Yeah, everybody has to work together on it. And we have to get together on it. And I felt like in the last administration that we were not we were not working together. We were
Well,
split.
we have no control of that.
Yeah, we don't have
Right.
control of it, but it does affect what goes on.
So how we gonna work
It
together?
does.
All the only thing you can do is put on your mask
Well,
and stay
we have
home.
to keep encouraging it. We have to keep encouraging. Like one thing I will say about the new administration, they are trying to encourage everybody to be together and to work together in
Oh, they're
party
doing a
friendship.
lot.
They're trying to do
So
that. And that's what we need. We need to get out and and vote and make our voice be heard and put
vote.
people in the offices who are going to do that, who are going to
Yeah, but
encourage
that still ain't gonna
partnership.
get rid of the coronavirus.
If we work together, we can make it better. We have to
We're gonna
all
come
work
up.
If we
together.
can think
We
about
gonna
each other
Yeah,
and work
we,
together,
that's
that'll
right.
make a big difference.
It'll make a big difference. Yeah,
how?
it's not going to
And
go
if the
away right
government is
away.
actually starting to think about people and make the
That's right.
change and help
That's right.
people and stuff, so
Mhm.
it can be a better process and a smoother ride than what
Mhm.
it is, then
Mhm.
What can
go
we?
do what
What
you
can
got to
we?
do.
What can we do to? What can we do today? What can we do tomorrow? I'm ready.
Mhm.
The rest of the
Exactly.
people not ready.
Exactly. Mhm.
They
Hmm.
procrastinating,
Yeah, they are. They
and
really are.
a lot of people tired of it.
Well, you know what? It's here. You can be tired, but it's not going anywhere. So you have to just suck it up and deal with it.
No,
That's
they
my
tired of the other
philosophy.
people. They tired of other people not putting in work. That's what they're tired
Oh,
of.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you know what? You can't control them. We can only control what we do, and we have to contribute.
That's
And
right.
the other people, we cannot control them. And the
They
sooner
the
we
one
learn that, the better.
they the ones who
Mhm.
put it on us. Probably we don't know.
Exactly. But we can't control them. We can only control ourselves. So, and I
That's
That's
think
right.
right.
that's kind of sad though that they don't think any better about that. And some of the people are just, I don't even know if they can even be taught any different. They are just, oh, they didn't think COVID is not real. It's just something that was fabricated. It's not here.
Those
Oh yeah.
lies, yeah,
That's the
all
things
that.
that they said. Yeah. That was what
What
they
they
actually
They
need, what
always
believed.
do that.
But I
what they
actually
need
talked
to
to
do.
people who actually believe that. I'm going, come on, people. Did you
Oh
look at
yeah,
all the
we've
people who
all
have
talked to
died?
them kind of
Yeah.
people.
Hmm. Look at everybody who's died from the it's here. But yeah, you're gonna always have and I think a lot of it is fear,
Yeah,
denial.
it is.
Fear. That's the best way
Well,
they
well,
can deal with it.
right, and a lot of people don't understand, about that fear. You don't supposed to have fear,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you don't supposed to
Well,
have
even though you're
fear
not
and
supposed to
nothing.
have it, everybody doesn't believe that you're not supposed to have it. Some people have no control over that.
So we
It's
need to
It's a
reassure
mind,
these
it's a way of
folks.
thinking.
it's a
We need to
survival.
reassure these folks from the government. Need to reassure these folks they're not doing that.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Responsibility. They
But
not.
it's
They
part
trying
of
to
our what do you call
get
it's
you
part of
messed
our
up.
survival, to have that fear.
Yeah,
And that's our the way we survive, from generation to generation. Because if we didn't have any fear, then we would just get out there and jump off the highest building. We have to
You,
have
that's
you don't
right.
fear.
supposed. You don't
Hmm.
supposed to have no fear, man. You only supposed to fear the Lord. That's it.
Hmm.
He'll take care of your problem. The rest of the problem, the other stuff
But
is
you know
man
what?
made,
If there wasn't
worldly.
any fear, there wouldn't be any control over
That's
us.
right. It sounds good. I mean, Rodney, what you're saying, but it's
It's
not
true.
human
People
nature.
don't do that no more.
It's not human nature. Human nature is to survive, and that's where fear comes in.
That's right.
Hmm. That's how we survive.
Hmm.
No, I think you have to
Mhm.
learn to get past fear, man. They're not teaching us that. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
embedded in
yeah.
our
But
mind.
it's some
That's
reason it's a
understandable.
They
difficult
don't
thing to
believe the
do.
Bible. People don't believe the Bible. That's what it is.
Oh no, no. A lot of people don't. They say they
That's
do,
what I'm
but they
saying.
really don't. Because it's based on faith, and it's something that you cannot see. It's unseen. It's not
Well, that's
something
the
you can see.
problem.
And
That's
And
some
the
it's a
people.
problem.
process getting
That's
there,
the
That's right.
becoming
problem right there.
fearless.
That's right.
That's the problem right there.
It's a
They
And
see
process.
even
everything.
the best person who works on that process is still going to have some fear at one point or the other.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
said
right.
that
We're only
they
human.
said that
Mm-hmm.
many are called, but few are chosen.
Mm-hmm.
So that means a lot of people gonna fall by the wayside. There's only gonna be a few.
Mm-hmm.
So you just gotta make sure you're in that number.
That's right. That's the end of it. And that's one thing that's individual. Is that walk. The
Yeah,
walk with God is individual.
But
that's
God
right.
said, love everybody,
He
love
says
God, and
love
then love your
everybody.
neighbor.
But
So
when it
everybody
comes to
come on there.
faith, I mean, that's something that we all have to do on our own. Because whenever we die, we're going on our own. God is with us,
That's
but
right.
we're not going to have anybody take anybody with us.
Well, what I'm saying is everybody can get a piece of this glory. They
Oh
just
yeah.
don't. They
Oh
just
yeah.
don't teach them or show them. Or, well, they fall by the wayside.
Yeah. But individually, you got to make that decision to
That's
decide
right.
this is how I'm going to
Right.
prepare myself for when
Mm-hmm.
that day comes and
Because
work on that.
no one can
So
make
you
that for you.
right.
No one
So
can
you
make
don't
that
have
walk
That's right.
so
for
you
you.
don't have to have fear because you already know it's individual and you can't help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't supposed to be afraid. What you're afraid of, man?
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Well,
the
people are
Lord
afraid
said
of
for nobody.
different things. I mean, they're just afraid of different
Oh,
What they
things.
yeah.
afraid?
Mm-hmm. That's part of what we were talking about. Remember about the cops? I mean, I think a lot of it's fear, and then even the citizens are afraid. They're afraid of the cops, and the cops are afraid of the citizens.
Yeah.
Because they put it on them to be
Mm-hmm.
afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they
That's what they
want that.
want.
They want that exactly.
Because
They
if
You
you're
know,
not
so
afraid of
sometimes,
them, then it's a problem.
That's right.
so sometimes you want to help people and you just can't help them.
Yeah, that's true. You can't always help.
Yeah.
You can try, but some people you just cannot help.
We can do the best we can to help,
That's all we can do.
Without losing your mind.
Mm-hmm. The Serenity
do
Prayer.
enough to be able to help out, but don't
That's
do
right.
too much to where you are destroying yourself and your peace of mind
Your
and
peace
your
of mind.
mental, you know.
Remember the Serenity Prayer. That was something that always keeps me going. Change the things that you can, and the things that you can't change, you cannot worry about them. You
That's
know,
And then
right.
and
you some
I know
things
the
you can change,
Lord's
some
the
can't.
Lord's prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy
Mm-hmm.
kingdom come. So when this kingdom come, he said his kingdom, not the other people's kingdom. So he
Mm-hmm.
gonna get rid of some
Mm-hmm.
folks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I want to be in that kingdom.
You want to be in that number, as they say.
You want to be in that number. That's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when he
Where the
come,
saints go
he
marching
gonna get
in.
Yep.
yeah. Cause when he gonna get rid of some folks. Cause he said thy kingdom come,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Mm.
sure he ain't gonna want to share with anybody else.
That's
Mm-mm.
right. Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
other
No,
kingdoms.
you can't share with God. There's only one God.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's coming.
All right.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start on the concluding of this episode. And what I do is I usually say a quote. So
Mm-hmm.
the quote for today, I'm going to say it and then we'll say our final words.
Okay.
So the quote is not everyone thinks the way you think, knows the things that you know, believe the things that you believe, nor acts the way you would act. Remember this, and you will go a long way in getting along with people. Arthur Foreman.
Excellent.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
So any final words, Mr. Bright?
okay, I would like to say that uh, God say, love Him, heart, soul, mind, and body, and love thy neighbor. So we supposed to love our neighbor too, like we love ourselves. And that it's not the people, it's the principalities, it's the power that got everybody all jacked up. We juiced up with that power from the principalities and stuff. It's not the people. And so
Mm-hmm.
we can love God and we can love the people, and we just got to take care of ourselves and take care of our family, and that's in our control. So we can control what we can control only: our families, ourselves, and then things will go righteous for you. And that's all I want to say. Control what we can control.
All right, thank you. And Miss Shepherd.
Well, I just wanted to say that I enjoyed that quote, and that's something that we should think about, that everybody has their own opinion, everybody thinks differently, and we just
Mm-hmm.
have to be aware that you know, that everybody's has their own opinion and respect that. And that's what makes the world interesting, is when you have
That's
different
right.
people with different ideas, different opinions. And I think that's something I like to make that my daily quote, you know, something as a reminder, you know, that that is the way that we get along, you know, when we realize that everybody
Mm-hmm.
has their opinion, and we need to learn to respect that. Respect everybody's
Yeah.
opinion. We can have ours, but be able to respect what everybody else has to say, or what their opinions are, what their thoughts are, what their feelings are. And I think we can all get along better in the world.
Yeah.
That means the LGBT and everybody.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Respect them,
Yep.
respect
Everyone.
everybody. Give, you know, everybody their due respect.
Because God
Hmm.
holds the vengeance.
That's right. And
Mm-hmm.
to each his own. We need to learn to do that. Yeah. And that's what God is about. And that's what
And vengeance
God
and,
is. He's
ven- and
love.
vengeance and vengeance is coming.
That's right. And he's about love, and he's about respect, and he loves everyone, no matter who you are, where they came from,
But he wants that to reciprocate.
LGBT, whatever. Yeah, that's exactly right. But he
He
loves
he
us. He
he
loves us
loves us, but
first. Oh yeah,
he takes care of us. So he loves us. He don't want
that's right.
he want the love back. You know,
That's right. And I
that's
remember
what he
this.
wants.
I remember the saying, God takes care of fools," because if they don't
Right.
know any
And
better,
babies.
and babies, because they don't know.
But if you
He
don't
takes
love
care
him
of
like
them.
he loves you, he can have vengeance on you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, that concludes our episode for tonight. It was a pleasure to have you both here for this episode of the Bryant Consulting Show. And thank you for tuning in, everyone that tuned in and listened. Hope you all have a great night.
All
Till next
right.
time.
All right. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.